live.
But yeah, I made a plan for Tuesday to talk to him because Sean said he doesn't have any like recording equipment, and so that's the day that Sean's free, and so he's gonna let him like use his laptop and shit. But he said we don't have to pay him. He loves talking about his business, so
Bro, that's awesome. Holy shit.
yeah,
It's time.
legitimate guest.
Well, so is Jack.
That's true. Everyone's a legitimate guest.
Hello.
As long as they have something to say.
Yeah, you have anything to say, bro? Jesus.
Well, I really like the smell of this. Good.
He likes the incense.
This stuff will kill you, man. Don't smoke it. Oh,
I wish it wasn't noise suppressed. You hear that? Man, you just come here and break everything. God, you can, if you can move that. Oh my.
I do want to move this.
so where are we going camping? Where are we going camping?
That's exactly what I was gonna talk about.
No, I can't because I worked that day.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Damn it. I was hoping you could show us
But
spots.
I can tell you about some spots. All right. If you go to your Google search
Yeah.
and type in Army Corps of Engineers Campground,
Okay.
it's up there in kind of near Jasper a little bit. It's basically like a campground that Alabama Power owns, and it was built by the Corps of Engineers. And they have like a little Overwatch tower that you can set up on, which is pretty cool. And across the way, they've actually got a campground, but it's not free. The place with the Overwatch tower is free. And
Fuck, I wanted you to come with us. Damn it. Well, what about the week after then?
if it's on a weekend,
Well, actually, that's the thing that Adam, did you already ask, like, off?
Yeah, I've already got my
So we
vacation.
can't, yeah, we can't do that. That sucks. I wanted you to come. Yeah, that's all good.
It's okay. We're gonna run it up.
Yeah, fuck it,
I'm
me.
gonna talk.
let me
try to
see
get
when
some
it gets
people
closer.
to
I'll see what I can do.
I want Josh to come. I want Brycey to come. Sean won't be there because we work together, so one of us has to be alert.
Yeah, that sucks. Thanks, Sean. Holding it down.
Thank you, buddy. It's okay. He's going on vacation. He's going on vacation this week.
That eBay money.
I swear to
This
God.
little stuff on eBay.
No, his dad. That's the one we're gonna be
Oh.
talking to.
Yeah, his dad has an online reselling business. And me and Isaac are trying to get into online reselling. And who better to talk to than somebody who already has an online reselling?
Right, it's like already their career at this point. Yeah.
And
kind
like,
of stuff?
dude, so Sean told me that his dad is actually in a group of online resellers, and they meet up, or they talk to each other every week about like items that are hot, the
Yo,
market,
what?
like how, yeah. And he was like, yeah, he gets on the call with like 6-7 people once a week, and they all just like talk about how to make online reselling better.
What I'm really hoping for is, I want to know specifically, since he's been doing this for a minute, like the local spots to pick this kind of shit up at. Because what if we don't even have to pay for shipping like those websites? He probably has like a hookup like around here, like, you know, some liquidation places around here in Alabama. So that'd be kind of nuts.
Yeah, I just thought the call thing was really crazy because he has a community.
You want to hear a funny story about my mother?
I think so.
He's got crazy stories.
So my mom had an eBay business for like a decade,
Okay.
and she would sell cosmetics on there, like, you know, makeup.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, you know, I just moved back here from Pennsylvania, and when I came back, I was living with her for a little while. Well, if you don't know anything about her, she's batshit crazy. I mean, she's really, really psychotic.
Nuts.
And I was going through, you know, some of my brother's things to, you know, because he wants me to ship him some stuff up to where he's working, but and I found these files, and you know, I always wondered why she stopped selling, because she was making a lot of money doing it. Well, I read through the file, and apparently she was selling fake cosmetics, which, like, you know, like fake Rolexes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Well,
like
it's like
off-brand
that.
shit, marketing it as name brand shit. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it has the name, for example, MAC Cosmetics. It has the name MAC on it, but it's not really MAC.
Yeah.
It's just
It's like
shit.
chalk.
Yeah, it's like chalk. Well, she got in trouble by the government, the
Oh,
federal
shit.
government, for selling fake items, and she owes them something like $20,000.
Holy shit.
And eBay got involved and also sued her for that. So yeah.
That's actually crazy.
Damn, bro.
yeah,
So we won't ask her for any tips, that's for sure.
Yeah.
let's definitely not.
Let's not do that.
And the
Yours.
even funnier part is, when I was going through my brother's closet, I found a box full of these items. Okay, she has like fake Adidas clothes in there, like all kinds of crazy fake stuff. And also, if you don't know about the career of selling fake items, they did a TED talk on it one time about, you know, like fake watches, fake all that kind of shit, and it directly funds terrorism. Like directly, like they set up these warehouses that are like, they're temporary. They sell their wares out of it, and then if there's anybody onto them, they shut down. And there's these special people that go out to these warehouses and try to buy some of their things to get them in trouble, like to get them shut down. But yeah, it funds like terrorism, sex trafficking,
Pretty much all kinds of like underground
kinds.
businesses, right? Yeah. Money laundering, that's like probably a lot of what they do.
Exactly.
Like just sell items that like in exchange a lot of money around, and I can imagine that, yeah.
So you definitely don't want to buy any fake things. Like when you go to New York and stuff, those guys that have the watches in their inside of their jacket, you don't want to buy them, because you're directly supporting something terrible.
Yeah, you're funding terror. That's actually insane.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Wow.
Like, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah, they gotta launder their money. They gotta move shit around. They gotta sell products, and also you probably just make extra money off that. Like, yeah, that's crazy. The fake industry, everything's tied together. All crimes are tied together somehow by some really smart people.
You can go look on Google at one of these warehouses and see there. It's like a sweatshop. You know, there's people that have been kidnapped and forced to, you know,
Kids
do these
sure.
things. Yeah.
Damn, that's what they do. The Walmart, Walmart people.
That's what they do at Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah. God damn, Jeff Bezos.
Everybody's exploiting labor. We don't even want to talk about that. What we want to talk about is the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago.
I was just about to say
Come
it.
on. That's what we want to talk about.
Because there's a lot of political attacks right now. Clearly, I mean,
Okay. The reason we want to talk about the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago is not because of Donald Trump. It's not because of any. It doesn't have anything to do with the election or the politicals. It is just the fact that if that can be allowed to happen in this country, then this is no longer that's the kind of shit that happens in Soviet Union, in communist China, in banana republics, literally raiding your political opposition's space, they're as a private citizen, he's not even in politics right now.
he's really not. He's literally a private citizen right now.
He's
They're
literally a
attacking
private
citizens.
citizen raided by the FBI. You know every single president that is still living right now, Bush Jr., Obama, Clinton, they all have fucking classified documents in their homes. Every single one of them. And I was talking to Sean about this, and he was like, didn't the FBI come after Hillary Clinton during her the presidential run? I'm like, no.
Well, she's
the
always been
FBI
a
knew
politician.
that she had those fucking emails, and she deleted 33,000 of them. Some of them with classified information in them, and they never raided her home.
And she, you know, holds a political office, or at the time.
Yeah, she was the Secretary of State at the time.
Yeah.
And they never raided her home. They let her run for president.
Well, the FBI is a Democrat-run organization.
Yeah, well, I mean, all government organizations right now are Democrat-run organizations, so. All I have to say is it sets a very scary precedent moving forward if they're just allowed to do that to a private citizen.
And then they just hired 80,000 IRS workers.
Yeah, and they're training them to use firearms.
Is that true? I saw like a quick headline. Is that true?
Yes, the IRS bought 700,000 rounds of ammunition at the beginning of 2022.
The weather service does too. That's just the thing that they do. They launder money. You know, the government launders.
Yeah,
money.
that's true. They do launder money, but I don't know. I was reading the IRS something. It was like from IRS.com about like applying to the IRS, and it talked about like being able to use a firearm and able to use deadly force if necessary. But it could have been for like the security department of the IRS. I don't know. All I know is taxation without representation is fraud. So, or it's theft, not fraud.
Well, you want to hear about taxation without representation? If in Pennsylvania they have, and New Jersey, they have a soda tax. You have to pay extra money to drink soda there.
Really? I didn't even know that.
And it wasn't something that was ever voted on. It was just something that just kind of happened.
I mean, the fact that we get taxed on our groceries here, I'm like, damn, that's food. Like,
We get taxed on everything.
yeah.
Well,
There's
this
nothing.
Property tax is the most insane thing. Like, you
Yeah,
could buy a home, not even have a mortgage, like pay it off completely. You're still paying property taxes every year. Like, it's yours, but you have to pay for taxes. Like, the government owns land. The government owns everything from our feet to the sky. Like, they own everything. It's insane. Like, we're already there. Like, the tyranny that people keep talking about, we've been there for a minute.
The reason I moved back here was because of that. Was because of shit like that right there. You know, I bought my car. I paid for my car. But they want me to go get an inspection on my car. I have to go pay for.
Oh, yeah, they make you do it up north, right?
yeah,
A lot of
I have to
inspections.
go pay $150 to go get an inspection on the car that I just bought.
You can get a ticket if you don't, right?
Yeah, and,
That's insane.
and I did. I got a ticket, and I told the officer, "Look, I'm not paying this. This is wrong, and I'm moving in 2 weeks. I'm not going to pay it." And he's like, "Well, you do what you want, but the law is the law." Stupid law. Stupid law.
That's pretty dumb.
And I also have my license suspended up there because if you're going around the
Someone.
like places like the art museum and you know, Center City by the courthouse and everything, they have red light cameras that are triggered, you know, to change every like 0.5 seconds. It's ridiculous. If you sit there and just look at it, it's changing, you know, red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green, literally as fast as that. And so I was, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning leaving work one night, because I was working night shift at the time, and I got a red light ticket because the light had just fucking turned green, and I decided to go. And then it turned red right after that, and they snapped a picture of my license plate, and now I have to pay $150, which I'm not paying. I also have parked in a legal parking spot there and had my car towed.
The big city.
Yeah.
That's what it is. All big cities
Legal.
are like this. They're all like this. New Jersey, yeah. They're taking pictures. They have cameras at all these fucking intersections. They're just taking pictures of your license plate, just sending you a ticket in the mail.
Yep.
They're just not even approaching you anymore. Just you just send it to your
no
address.
longer have the right to confront your accuser. You don't.
Yeah, no.
And if you do,
Absolutely.
they're going to make it a pain in the ass for you.
And 97, I saw a Rasmussen poll. And if you guys don't know about Rasmussen, they are the most accurate polling agency in the country by far. I don't believe in polls, but Rasmussen is accurate a lot of the time. I saw a Rasmussen poll that said 97% of Americans believe that there's a two-tier justice system. 97% of people believe that people like DC elites and, you know, actors, politicians, like millionaires, they are not subject to the same laws that common people are.
Hell no. Hell
Like-
no. And they can buy
He's-
lawyers.
Exactly.
Like, it's just money. That's all it is. It's just money, power. If you got that shit, you can escape the law. You don't have to really follow the rules at all. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's because the rules are fake.
They're all made up. They're all made up, but they're taxing the fuck out of the workers. That's all they do.
If you have money in this country, or anything close to it, you can buy your way out of anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Anything.
They still haven't talked about Epstein's fly list.
Oh, bro, we don't need to know who's on it. We don't need to know who's on it. Doesn't matter who's on it. Because at the end of the day, they're all guilty because they all knew what he was doing.
Where was the media coverage?
Exactly. Where's the media coverage of Ghislaine?
I've never
Where's
seen a picture of her in cuffs.
We found the one picture of Ghislaine Maxwell online, and we don't even know if it's her. We couldn't even tell if it was her. Yeah, never seen a picture of her in handcuffs. Like, I don't know. And now there's all these like little documentaries coming out. I don't know if y'all have been watching or y'all have seen the Victoria's Secret one.
Yeah, I have.
On Hulu. Yeah, that one's like, that was a pretty good doc, but at the same time, it's not enough. You're like, yeah, this fucking 95-year-old billionaire fucked around with Jeff Epstein and may have been supplying him girls. We don't know.
That's where they want you to stop. Like, oh wow, something did happen, and that's it. Like, don't worry about anybody else though.
Do you know why they're not pursuing this as heavily as they should be?
I mean, what do you think it is?
Was it Prince Andrew?
Yep.
Right? That's why they're not pursuing it, because that would create a major tension between the people of the UK and the people of the United States.
Yeah, and I mean, he's admitted to it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's photographic evidence.
Yeah, he had to pay massive settlements to that girl.
Yeah.
He like massive, like a king's sum, you know. And yeah, the queen was like, "You're a disgrace," and like all this shit. So, like that one's confirmed.
Little slap on the
Yeah, you're shitty in front of everybody. That's it.
Bill Clinton is confirmed. Like, there's absolutely no way. Secret Service agents have said that Bill Clinton slept with like over 80 women, or had like over 80 women in the White House when he was president. And I've heard testimony from one Secret Service agent who said, like, I think they might have been 18, but some of them looked as young as 15.
You know, they say that Donald Trump was a good friend of Epstein's as well.
Yeah,
It's
like
the
I said,
billionaire club, baby.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it doesn't matter. They're all guilty. They're all guilty. But again, it's just, this is the country that we live in now. It's wild that how much has changed in literally 2 years.
I mean, the entire world is run by mafia, basically, at this point. I mean, I guess it's always been like that.
I saw an article today, New York Times, UN takes stand against global conspiracy theories. Quote, the world is not run by global elites.
That sounds like something that a world run by global elites
would say.
What the fuck? They actually, that's insane.
I'll show you.
In the world, all the things going on in the world, that's what they choose to be fighting. Conspiracy theories, not fucking famine and poor people, poverty all over the world, not human trafficking. No, conspiracy theories. The UN, is that real, bro?
I'm gonna
That's
find
disturbing.
I want you to go on Indeed.com right now and look up UN trooper. Okay, they have
jobs.
They have jobs as a paramilitary police officer, basically, that has worldwide jurisdiction.
Oh yeah, the UN like military, like the troopers. Yeah, that
Yeah.
shit's crazy. I know about that. They have the highest rate. Like when the UN moves into an area, the troopers, they have like the highest rate of any military force like existing in a country like that.
What? Holy
Yeah,
shit!
it's great. And they have like like you said, they have like unilateral power. I'm trying to find. Yeah, here it is.
Damn, that's pretty disturbing. Perhaps it was always a lie. The whole thing. We never had democracy. Nobody ever got voted in.
I realized that the day that, you know, this previous election, when I walked into the voting location, and they didn't even check my driver's license to make sure I was from here.
Ha! Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a joke. Elections are so fucking silly.
I could have driven from New Jersey to that polling location. They would have never known. I could have driven to, from Georgia. They would have never known.
He was in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And that's the
Yeah.
yep.
And when they tell you that you're not allowed to stand near polling locations with guns, that can also be a pretty big issue. Because when they're barricading windows and putting their blinds up and everything, I mean, what do you think's going on in there? You don't think that they're
and they're
opening up all the
throwing
ballots
out
and taking a look
they're
at them?
throwing out Republican poll watchers and fucking talking about election ballots going missing in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that shit
people
was
on
insane.
people on camera stuffing boxes, literally putting 30 ballots in. We watched the movie, bro.
We're the only country that allows mail-in voting. The only
Yeah.
one.
It's the most fraudulent thing I've ever heard.
Ronald Reagan said mail-in voting will lead to massive voter fraud. Said that literally 40 years ago when they were talking about doing it when we had the bad influenza and AIDS outbreaks. He was like, no, mail-in voting equals fraud. And didn't let it happen, and,
I mean,
and they finally got away with it.
in the last election, Trump beat the record for the most votes ever. But then so did Joe Biden. That's what made me realize, oh, this is bullshit.
I was talking about this with people today.
Today?
I really hope that they crucify Donald Trump, throw him in jail, do everything, the most horrible shit to him, because it's just going to make things worse for them. If you think people are mad now, just wait till you take the guy that they think can save them and put him on the cross. Just wait. It doesn't matter if they make him ineligible to run in 2024. Their party is done. It is completely done. I don't know if the only way they can win is by cheating. People are so unhappy right now. The general consensus, Republicans and Democrats alike, independents too, is that this is not the way we want to be moving forward.
Yeah, that's for sure. At least we all know that much now. Everybody's pretty much on the same page. Okay.
And in that way, I think Donald Trump is the most effective politician of all time.
Honestly, what I think should happen is someone like him and then someone super left, but also populist, like Bernie Sanders. If they both went on the same ticket, they would win by a fucking ridiculous amount.
Tulsi Gabbard and Ron DeSantis.
I mean, they would definitely win, but
they would win.
I would prefer Trump and Bernie because they're a bit more spicy. They're old.
Yeah, but they're so old.
That's the thing, they're very old. But they just say it. They just say what they. I don't know. Well, Bernie kind of turned into a.
I know.
Bitch.
I don't know, man. They're going so hard on this whole Espionage Act. He concealed these documents thing, and they control everything. Trying to say espionage? Yeah. Well, that's why that's what they unsealed the warrant, and the warrant is for violating the Espionage Act, because the Espionage Act, Potts told us this yesterday, is pertains to the removal, destruction, or concealment of classified documents, or the if you hold on to them, if you don't return them. And so basically, some documents were brought to Trump's Mar-a-Lago, and then when he stepped down as president, he didn't return the documents. They subpoenaed the documents in July. He cooperated with them, but they said that he didn't give them everything. And they knew he didn't give them everything because they went through the documents and they weren't all there. And so then they raided his house and they, quote unquote, found the documents that they were looking for. And in the Espionage Act, it says that if you violate it, you can be imprisoned for 3 years and barred from holding public office. So,
Convenient.
And they charged him with obstruction of justice by violating, because he withheld the documents, he was obstructing justice. So they have him on 2 charges, and one's a misdemeanor, but it has the clause in it that if you violate it, you can't hold public office. And then obstructing justice is a felony. So that bars you from holding office, period. Because if you're convicted of a felony, you can never hold office. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that they're going to let him off the hook. I mean, if he really did have the documents that they say he did, didn't return them, and then they found them. It's pretty open and shut. They're just going to charge him with violating the Espionage Act. He can't run for president.
Oh my
But
god.
it doesn't matter because it was never about him. It was never about Donald Trump winning presidency. It was never about that. It was about people understanding that people like Joe Biden, people like George Bush, people like Hillary Clinton, people like those people, like Obama, are destroying our country. And if you don't believe that, just look how quickly we went from energy independent, lowest gas prices, lowest food costs, lowest unemployment, highest record GDP in 50 years to this, where we are right now. Highest gas prices ever. Like fucking crazy unemployment, like 5%. Inflation through the roof. Everything up 10 to 50%. The same amount of groceries you bought in 2018 would cost you $100 is like $250 now.
Well, the problem is we're perpetuating COVID.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like I've had it 3 times. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
It has less than 1% mortality.
Yeah. And that's been a fact for years. I've been saying that since like 2020.
99.9999998% of people don't die. That's a ridiculous amount of people that don't die.
That's practically everyone.
It's pretty much everyone. And children are basically immune to it.
Yeah.
And if you're healthy and in your early 20s, you're probably fine. Unless you like smoke 8 packs of cigarettes a day or something.
Actually, fun fact about that. Tobacco, and this is something that not very many people are going to agree with, but it's something that makes sense. Tobacco, specifically, smoking and dipping and all that shit, makes your... Or there's something in it that makes you not get it as easily as other people. I can't remember who did the study on it, but let me find this real quick and I'll tell you.
Damn, so maybe we should have just had booster tobacco.
Smoked the entire time during the pandemic. And I never got sick. And then the only time I've had COVID, one of my coworkers had it, and there's only 5 of us, and we work in a very small building.
Okay,
And then we all got it.
Nature.com. It was written in 2021, and it's called "Are Smokers Protected Against SARS-CoV-2 Infection, COVID-19? The Origins."
Well, all I'm going to say is it needs to stop. I'm not going to be putting on the mask again. I don't care how much they want to say that kind of shit. I don't care if it's the monkey. I don't care if it's the... It doesn't matter. I'm just not going to be...
That's the lab. Who cares?
I'm not either. Are you vaccinated?
No, fuck no. Fuck
I
look like.
I'm not. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. I got it. I'm fine.
My wife was this close to getting jabbed. Her entire family's jabbed.
I work in a hospital. I've been very
Yeah.
close, and I told them, if you jab me with, or if you, tell me that I have to be vaccinated to work here, I'll sue you because my religion says that I can't be vaccinated.
And they were like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
I wrote them a very lengthy letter at the time that I was employed at both hospitals that I worked at. I was like, I am not getting this. Just want to warn you now that basically, just want to warn you that if you try to push this on me, I will sue you for everything.
I've seen the kind of letters you be writing, bro. It's not like a lawyer, like the Bernstein lawyer, bro. Legit.
And I don't, if you're vaccinated, that's fine. If you're not, that's fine.
Actually, I
But
might keep
this
that
whole
contracts in the
pushing
future.
it on people, not cool. Just let people do what they want. Like,
Yeah, but we all understand.
I saw
It's very easy to understand that the coercion is really just to make money from big pharma. They're just like, get everyone to get it so we can make as much money as possible.
Much money as possible.
before they end up making it non-emergency status. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Make all the money they can.
And it's always about that.
all
That's
it
why
is about.
that's why big pharma doesn't make cures. They only make treatments.
It's sad. It's sad how medicine works sometimes. It's really pathetic.
I hate it.
I've been really into looking into just holistic natural shit.
And he works in the hospital, so he knows. Like,
Every day I wake up when I have to go to work and I think, man, I'm not doing anything for anybody here. I want to get the hell out of here. It's the most tyrannical profession I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
Like, if you think, law enforcement's bad, you should go into medicine for a little bit.
Seems like that's a growing sentiment with every corporation.
Well, corporations in general are very. I mean, if you think about it, like,
Dude, I was surprised. We're talking to Alex and his take on things. Very nuanced.
yeah,
I understand he's under contract, so he has to say certain things.
yeah, he can't tell everything, but he does understand a lot of interesting shit because of his position.
Yeah, but at the same time, he is not red pilled at all.
He's always been pretty, he's never been like that actually, ever.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. He's very
Yeah, he's very, but the side you would think is red,
Yeah,
but it's actually
no.
so red that it's not really. It's kind of
no. He's pretty much down for the.
down for the cause. Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing. Look, I get it.
I mean, the thing that struck me the hardest was when he was just it's if shit pops off, I fully support the U.S. government. Yeah.
I'm there. That's the funny thing about the fact.
And I understand he has to say that because he's under contract.
He is.
If someone saw that and he was like, "Oh yeah, bro, shit pops off."
Yeah.
I got your back. No, he's done. He has no job. He has no life. Can't say that.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I believe him.
I don't know. I do believe. I think he's always been like that. He's always been that way. And I mean, here's the thing though. It's not like America. It's not like you can't take pride in this place where we do technically even now still have way more freedoms than other countries. But the fact that's even a discussion, more freedoms. I just want to be fucking free. I don't want more. Yeah. I don't want. I want to be completely just individual.
Well, yeah. And I wish things could just go the way that they need to go, which is just democratically.
You know what I did last night?
Yeah.
And it made me realize even more. I tried to sell my gun on the internet, which you used to be able to do a year and a half ago. But then I found out that the Biden administration, from under our noses, has taken away the right to do that. Now, you have to pay a fee and sign a contract before you can do it online. Because, protect everybody, save the world, right? But, the thing is I don't give a fuck if you're a convicted felon and you buy my gun. That's your problem, not my problem. I don't give a fuck, if you use this weapon to go kill somebody. You bought the weapon off me. It's no longer my weapon.
Yeah, it's a transaction at that point. And I mean, the guy who delivers my meat to my butcher shop, he made a good point. It was I can take my gun and put it on that table over there and leave it there for 1,000 years, and if no one touches it, it won't kill anyone.
Yep, that's true.
It takes a person with evil intent to do something like that, and the answer is not to punish law-abiding citizens by removing their firearms, because what's going to happen?
Yeah.
What's going to happen is the criminals are still going to have the firearms,
right? Yeah,
and the law-abiding citizens won't, and we're going to be the ones that are fucked. The government is completely protected by guns 24/7.
Yep, that's the age-old argument right there. And now we've made it even better by introducing masking into the mix.
Yeah, everyone can wear a mask, and it's not weird.
Yeah,
or
you can walk into a grocery store now and have a mask on, and so anyway, but
and gloves.
Yeah, but the point is the government. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, you're not free. You're not free here. There's nowhere left. That's the problem. Israel used to be free. It's not free anymore. Australia used to be free. I mean, you saw how they treated the COVID thing. They're not free.
No.
The only way out at this point is, I hate to sound like a right-wing extremist here, but you have to fight.
Yeah. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You have to fight, but you have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be aggressive, but you have to stand up for your rights while you still have them, because they will take them away. Communism is a slow lurch forward.
Have you ever read the Communist Manifesto?
Yeah.
It's
fucked
this
up.
long.
I know but it's fucked up.
It's so simple that it's
people say they've read it, but they've only read the parts about communism.
Mm-hmm.
If you read the entire thing, it's actually Karl Marx being a fucking psycho.
It's
The
more of a
entire
disease
time.
process than it is. You
Yeah.
know, you infect, Western culture, and it all stems back from, the age of Joseph McCarthy.
Who? That's not
Yeah, I
familiar.
know. Yeah, McCarthyism.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
When he was talking about how, the communists were infiltrating the United States, and that we had political leaders that were communists.
Yeah.
Red Scare.
And that's what happened. Dude, I've got a long story for you guys, but I want you to hear how.
And my friend Sean actually talked about this with me. He was like, "Dude, I feel like we're going into another age of McCarthyism." Where
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where I hear it the most about. Like McCarthy.
Yeah, they're like, we're having another Red Scare. People think communists are infiltrating our country. Blah blah blah. Bro, there are literally so many people in top brass, in top politics, who are either in bed, literally or figuratively, with Chinese.
If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a fucking duck, it's a duck. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah. Nancy Pelosi is a duck.
Yeah, that's true.
Joe Biden is a duck.
But basically, this idea, came around during the hippie movement, okay? And this is why I want to write this all down so I can tell you guys clearly for next time. But basically, nowadays, the reason why we have so much, I'm just going to be frank about it, garbage going on. This LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ bullshit going on is because back in the days of McCarthy and the hippie era, we had mental asylums, okay?
Yes.
These were state-run facilities. They often got shut down, and these people with mental disorders went on, in the streets and just left to roam on their own accord. They all started sleeping with each other, and now you have this disaster of LGBTQRS bullshit, whatever, and all these other ideas that you can identify as a fucking animal and all this crap. It's part of our genetic evolution, basically. All these, infectious mental ideas that have come about. And now they're teaching it in schools, that it's okay, and it's a school for these people who want to identify as, cats and shit in the litter box, or be LGBTQ, whatever. And it's all just mental disorders.
I'll look it up.
I know this sounds like,
No, I know.
I'm a hateful person. Dude, I don't give a fuck what you do, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's a mental disorder to think that you're, a woman when you have a penis, and you're biologically able to inject semen into a woman.
See, I didn't know what
and get her pregnant.
I didn't know the other stuff you were talking about because I'm not very well versed in this stuff. But just logically speaking, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Where I'm like, okay, look, I get that you want to be whatever you want to be, but to force everyone else, the majority, to behave
Exactly. Force it down your fucking throat.
We're the general society, like me. I'm like the normal guy. I don't really know much about this stuff. I don't really care. But if you just want to be called he, him, fine. But don't shove it down. Like, you're obviously a minority. It's about affirming mental disorder. Like
Here you go.
said.
Here you
Affirming
go,
mental
Isaac.
disorder doesn't do anything but hurt people who are mentally
Let's watch
disabled.
this. Let's react to
I
this.
can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
Nah, maybe try window instead of screen.
I'm just sharing application.
Oh wait, my bad. That's me. I got it.
Okay.
The founding principle of the Magic City Acceptance Academy.
Yeah, there you go.
The idea of being who we are and being where we are in this space and time, it is saying something to those around us that if this many students, in our inaugural year, 230 students, if this many students are not succeeding in the learning environments from which they came, somebody's doing something wrong. Because education, the right to an education is a civil right. It's a right that everyone has. And if we're not
Laptops matter.
meeting the
Oh,
needs of all of
It
our
is not
students,
true.
then
Can
we
you
need to
pause for
try
a
harder.
second?
Listen to this
And
video.
if we're an education is a
You do
civil
not
right,
have a right to
it's a right
education.
that everyone
That is
has.
something you have to go seek
And-
out for
and
yourself.
If we're not
That's a good point.
Why hang this in a classroom? This is a violent group. Do I need to pull up the pictures?
Oh,
Of
city's
the
on
40
fire.
$40 billion
Oh, you don't
worth
have
of
to pull it up.
destruction?
I was right there. I was in the city when it happened. You know.
I bet. Yeah. This is a violent extremist group
Of white people, mind you.
of white people.
Which is very
Yeah.
ironic. I have to say it like that because it's very ironic. It's not
Why
black
would
people
you
doing this.
hang this in a classroom for education?
meeting the needs of all of our students, then we need to try harder, we need to do better, where we can grow and change and learn together about being human beings in one space and being different in opinion, different in how we identify, different in how you see us, in the color of our skin, but we can all be together.
That just sounds like a normal school. Like, why can't you just do that at a normal school? I don't understand. Why do you
Read
have
this.
Extend the community in which all learners are empowered to embrace education, individual success, and take ownership of their future in a brave LGBT barbecue affirming learning environment. Affirming. See, that's okay. So that's the word I used earlier. So, like he said, now I'm not saying okay. I don't think gay people are mentally ill. They're just gay. But like, there's obviously.
I don't either. I'm saying that.
No, I know. I'm only saying that to preface what I'm about to say is that a lot of this is about being sensitive towards mental illness, but the problem is you're not being sensitive. You are promoting it now.
Exactly.
Now that's the
Exactly.
You're affirming it.
Affirming mental illness is not the right way to handle
And
mental illness.
Jordan Peterson fucking said this in. You remember in What Is a Woman? He said this. He said there's no such thing as a gender affirming therapist or a gender affirming teacher. Because my job as a teacher or a therapist is not to affirm your axiomatical, fantastical claims about who you are as a person. My job is to tell you, okay, this is what you're thinking, but this is the truth, the reality of the situation. And where these two differ
That's
is
a
where
mental
you need
disorder, Adam. It's a
exactly.
mental.
I understand that, and I agree with you, but these teachers and these therapists are not doing their jobs telling these children who literally don't know what their favorite color is that they can't just be a girl or be a boy. You know what I mean? Like that, you can't take a child, like a child is so prone, like they have extremely active imaginations. If you just affirm every fucking fantasy that a child has, and some people are children a lot longer than 18 years.
Can we just talk
You know
about
what I
the obvious, like that none of this is as important as we're making it out to be? I mean, that's just that simple. Like, it's just not that important. It just isn't. Not to the point where it needs an entire school for themselves. Like, it's just not.
I call it a crisis issue. Okay. The Democrats.
Wow, that light is bright.
I'm sorry.
The Democrats make everything a crisis, you know, water crisis, environmental crisis, global warming crisis. It's just another fucking crisis issue. It doesn't really matter. It's not an issue that's going to affect, you know, our survival.
It's just to gain votes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously distracting everybody with all these affirming things from actual issues, like issues that affect everyone, not just as one race, but affect everybody, like poverty.
Fuck gender. Let's talk about crime.
Right, yeah. Talk about
How
crime,
about
human
let's talk about
trafficking.
the
Like,
fucking crime rate in New York, in
Yeah.
Chicago. People want to talk about black people shooting or cops shooting black people. Let's talk about gangs killing children. It's like 20 a week in Chicago,
yeah.
and their mayor refuses to lift a finger.
No, because they'd rather be like, oh, we're still working on COVID. It's like they're not doing anything. They're just not. They're just distracting you. Like I said, it's not about even like, you know, dissing a certain person's like mindset or view. I don't care what the fuck someone believes in, but it's obvious that politicians are using this to distract. That's the biggest thing. That's why I don't have to know a lot about this. I don't know anything about, like, you know, policies or anything. It's just like what's clear to me, what's really most important fundamentally for society to be efficient. They're not doing any of it, and they'd rather distract you with, like I said, all these social issues, affirming mental illnesses so that everybody's fucked up, so that you can't focus on doing anything for yourself and you just be a consumer.
Yeah, they're like, you're
Consume.
depressed, and that's okay. You're just gonna have to be depressed.
I don't
It's
know
like-
what the statistics are.
You have anxiety, and that's okay. It's like, that's not okay. You need help.
But I've lived in Birmingham, before for like 17, 18 years. And then I moved to, Philly. And there was a shooting every day within, feet. We're not talking miles, we're talking feet away. I live down the street from the heroin capital of the United States. But for some reason, Birmingham's number 4, and Philly didn't even make the list. Birmingham's number 4 for the highest murder rate. But
You know
I
why
don't
it
see that
is.
when I walk around here. What I'm thinking is that the media is miscovering what's really going on here. They're trying to
'Cause
make
they
the
don't-
southern states look bad because we're all
They don't want
racist
people to come
bigots,
here.
right?
They don't want people to come here
Yeah.
because they know that if they come here, they get a dose. Like, I talk to people every fucking day in the shop about shit like this. Every day. And I've talked to people who've moved here from California, from New York,
Yeah.
from upstate, from like Colorado, Portland, Washington. And they're like, it's so nice down here. Everyone's so nice. They hold the door for you and they say good morning, and everything's 20 minutes away and everything's beautiful and there's so much land and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so why'd you move? Oh, well, it's just too expensive and there's crime and homeless people everywhere and traffic's awful and the politicians suck and blah, 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 and gas and, and it's always the same. It's always the same answer. Anyone that moved from the north to the south is, oh, I moved here because everything was shitty where I lived before, and it's so nice down here. Can't wait to move to Florida.
Yeah.
And that's why they really don't want people like Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis to win the presidency, because they'll
they're
turn
good
the
with money.
entire
They know how
country
to
into
run a
Florida.
business,
Yeah, they'll turn the entire country into Florida immediately.
Can't have that. There's too much fun down there.
Open, everything's open. No, yeah, all that shit's illegal. Critical race theory, LGBTQ school, all that shit's illegal. Can't do that. We'll fine the fuck out of you. Masks illegal. We'll fine you. Like, keep it coming. That's how it is in Florida. My mom went there just like a month ago, and she was like, "Bro, you have no idea." She was like, "They literally will fuck you up if, like, they'll tell you to take your mask off
Good.
in Florida." They're like, "Why are you wearing a mask?" Like, and like you can't push any of that shit in the schools. If you do, they'll fine the shit out of you. It's like $40,000 if you get caught pushing like anything like CRT or any of that gender affirming shit in schools. It's not fly in Florida. And I mean, I'm surprised that the other southern states haven't picked up on that. And Georgia's becoming increasingly blue, so it's like,
Yeah, Georgia's pretty bad. And then it's, of course, going to spread its little disease everywhere else down
and
here.
I think the crime rates in Georgia, and specifically Atlanta, are worse than
Yeah.
they are in Birmingham by far. By far. I don't know. I lived in Birmingham for like 4 years, and I never felt like, I've only been in like one situation, and I was doing something unsafe. So, I put myself in it. So
They're so misguided up there. Like, I told them I was moving back here, and they're like, why would you want to move down there where all the rednecks are? I'm like, the hospital, down there that I'm going to be working at is almost 10 times bigger than this one. And they have some of the most brilliant minds ever who have innovated crazy things that I'd never even thought humanly possible. So you can talk all the shit you want while your hospital is run into the fucking ground.
and I mean, I think Birmingham's on the come up
Yeah.
just now.
I am seeing a lot more people that are definitely, you can tell they're from out of state. I'm seeing a lot of them.
And that's good. We need new money moving in.
Yeah.
Get the old money out of here. Let them move to
Cha-ching.
upstate here.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
And Isaac's from the city, he knows.
yeah.
He told me the other day everything is automated.
Yeah, like, so we were talking about like going camping, and I was like, I've only been camping like once, and on top of that, we were also watching Primitive Technology, some guy on YouTube who makes a bunch of cool shit like in the wild. And I told him, I was like, bro, honestly, I don't know how to do like even the basic shit. Like growing in the city, everything's, they call it a concrete jungle, and it's like literally that's all it is, just buildings everywhere. And it's just you order things at the store, and you have everything delivered. People literally pump your gas for you. Like if you just give them the money and they do it for you.
Yeah.
It's like their job. Everything's just different. It's just strange. So people up there are pretty useless. They don't have a lot of skills as far as like surviving out in the wild or something like that. So like me, I've never knew any of that stuff. Coming to Alabama, people are like telling me all kinds of tree species names, and people here know more about animals, and I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, it's so different. It's so crazy so I'm like, I'm straight from I grew up in the cities my whole life, up until 10 years ago, and
It's
honestly,
a tangible source of intelligence.
yeah, it's just like they're more connected with like reality, I guess. They're just the earth. Like they feel connected to the earth a little bit more. I mean, there's still farms out here. I'm like amazed. I actually thought Hoover was the country to me. Like I was like, this is backwoods, like country. I thought that was like the worst of it. Hoover. Everyone here thinks it's the city. I'm like, when I first
It is.
it is. I was like, yo, what the fuck? We're in the middle of nowhere, Dad. He's like, oh, I don't know. It's like there's no lights anywhere. Like there's no street lights. We're like, what the fuck? It's so dark. It's Hoover. It's right next to the Galleria, like across the road.
Yeah.
Bro, that's how.
And then you drove to Silicon College, and you're like, fuck.
I was like, oh my god.
God.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I still get nervous when I'm out in like the woods. Like I'm like, god damn, there's nobody around. Like it's just so different from what I'm used to. Like I have to get out of that, because it's real life. But at the same time, yeah, man, like I don't know, cities are just kind of crazy. They're just
I'm a good old country boy. I grew up climbing trees and frogging, doing dumb shit.
Fucking bitches behind the church.
Yes, riding my bike down hills that were way too big when I was way too young.
I've had my dick stuck in at least 2 church parking lots, man.
Same, bro. You don't want to know what I've done in church. That's
Oh shit. Thought of me.
it's bad. I'm a bad boy. I had sex on the roof of my school.
yeah. Well, anyway, fucking, I don't even know what to say about politics anymore at this point. I don't think I've ever.
I'm so exhausted.
There's nothing to talk about, bro. They're destroying themselves. It's just a matter of time, or we're all gonna be fucking serfs.
I'll see you on the battlefield.
Yeah, either way. It's a war for your mind.
Just gotta. That's why I'm trying to make all this money right now, because I'm just like, that'll help me at least in some way. Like at least as far as if I want to live in a society, having more money is gonna help me a lot. At least I can travel too. If I need to escape or some shit, I can have money to leave.
You can build
Guess
bunkers
we go-
in your backyard.
I guess we go to fucking Romania.
Hey.
Romaine lettuce?
Go join the war room.
Dude, he said that normal people can't live there. He was like, you have to have fuck you money to live in Romania.
Yeah.
It's so corrupt, like you'll just get killed.
Damn.
Like he literally said that. He was like, you'll just like a normal person would come over here, like someone will mug you, someone will like kill you, and like no one will save you. Because the police don't care and like the mob runs everything. It's just like no. No one's gonna help you. No one cares. People die every day.
Yeah.
And so you need to be you need to have some you need to have a squad with you, or you need to have fuck you money. Or a gun.
Or a gun.
You can't just take a gun with you.
A squad. I think that's one of the most important things is just gather your group, gather your team. That's why I'm trying to. That's part of the reason why I want to own companies, because the way I look at it is in the today's society, you can have your own army, but you have to call it a company for it to be legal.
Yeah.
But there are militias out there, and there are companies. Look at government contractors who do like military work.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's literally a military. But it's a company. It's a privately owned company. So that's how I look at it now. That's why I'm trying to start a company, because if I had people on payroll, they technically do the job for me. That's just what it is. If you want your own army, start a company. It's just civilized armies. But that's how I look at it.
Yeah, and I think that's a big, like, something. I think it's very important to make the distinction, like, the way that the quote unquote war is moving is to a more civilized form of. It's not soldiers on the ground anymore.
Yeah, it's not a bunch of explosions and bombs and like gas
No.
chambers and shit. No,
No.
it's just pressuring you until you give up.
Yeah, it's attrition, it's propaganda, it's conditioning, you know, it's affirmation of mental disorders.
Everybody's
It's that
telling
kind
me
of-
like, oh, we're waiting for the revolution, and no, there's not going to be a revolution. You're all going to
There's
give
not.
up one by one.
You're in it now.
You're getting gaslit.
Yeah,
You're
gaslit.
getting gaslit
Exactly. Yeah.
the entire time. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. It's gonna work. Just wait. Hold
I tried
on.
to tell that group.
You're not-
I left that group so quick after a while. I was like, bro, ain't nobody here gonna fucking pay attention. Like, I'm just.
You're not.
I've been
You're
saying
not
that for-
crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. I promise. He's coming back. You're not crazy. You're getting gaslit, Green.
Yeah,
Wake up.
it's true. It's true.
You are the plan. You are the plan. That's what I kept telling them. I was like, we are the plan, guys. The plan is us. We have to do something about it. These
Yeah.
politicians aren't going to help us.
And neither is your vote. You have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, and your vote is gone. We demonstrated that in 2020 when we broke the machines and they still won.
I think it's all honestly. I do think stuff like this, what we're doing right now, is really important. Like getting people together. I just saw a podcast.
And
where-
just saying it. Fuck if we get canceled.
yeah, just say it. Exactly. Yeah, just say if everyone starts to say it, then they can't cancel everyone because they don't want to lose all their money. That's what it's all about.
And that's how it works, man.
Yes.
You seen Bug's Life?
Yes, that's exactly what I think. Exactly what I think about.
Fill me in here.
These
ever
ants,
seen
if
Bugs
they
Life?
stand up. Look, actually, let's just play.
Yeah,
it.
show you the clip. I'll show you the
All right,
clip.
put it
Hold
up.
I got it.
It's exactly right. It's exactly how it is. The government is Hopper, and he's like, holy fuck, they're all ants.
Ants in my butthole. In my butt. Oh yeah.
Ugh.
All right, here you go, Jack. I can't believe you haven't seen this, dude. Wow.
I mean, I've seen it, but it's been a very long time.
Yeah, just remember
We're
that
adults.
that the government is Hopper and we are the ants. Okay, fuck this. This doesn't matter.
Yeah, right there. That's perfect.
There when it starts to rain, you might as well be sucking bug spray.
Ooh, don't even say that. You know something? You're making a lot of sense. I mean, why take the risk? You should tell Hopper.
Good idea. But, you know, it's really not our place. I mean, you're his brother. That makes you like the vice president of the gang.
Wow, it kind of does, doesn't it? Okay, I'll tell him. Boy, I should talk to you guys more often.
What if Hopper doesn't like it? And at least the genius will get smacked, and not us.
Vice President Hall.
Yeah.
Shit's funny as fuck.
What good animation.
I love it.
Hey, Hop.
So old too.
Wait, that's fine.
Yeah.
Then I won't tell you my idea. Good. Okay, I'll tell you anyway. See, I've been thinking, okay, which is something that I do, you know, being vice president and all. And this is a thought, and it was mine. Why go back to Ant Island at all? I mean, you don't even like rain.
What?
It's such a good idea myself. Actually, it wasn't even my idea. It was Axel and Locos. They talked fancy to me. I got confused.
Guys, order another round, because we're staying here. Yeah. What was I thinking going back to Ant Island? I mean,
What were
we
you
just
thinking?
got here, and we have more than enough food to get us through the winter, right? Why go back? But there was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant. One ant.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss, they're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
How about this?
Oh shit. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all
All
might
stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out,
There goes our way of life.
Exactly.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Exactly.
That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?
And they're like, oh shit, okay.
And I fully support the U.S.
And that was Nancy Pelosi in front of Congress.
And that is why.
Keep them in line. It's like a line on my pockets, goddamn. Anyway, so that's a great analogy. I love it.
Fantastic.
That's the people. The people, we outnumber them by fucking ridiculous. So
A bajillion one.
Too
And
many.
all it takes is for them to figure it out.
that's why we talk like this, one at a time, podcast after podcast, content after content. And once everybody's making their own content, nobody's watching the news anymore, which nobody is. People are starting to wake up. People are starting to, even if they don't, like I said, no one has to be Republican. Nobody has to be liberal. It's just a matter of waking up to the fact that neither option is working. That's what we have to all wake up to.
Exactly right.
Neither option is good. Neither option is working. The two-party system is all a lie. It's all about keeping us sedentary and slowly consuming more and lining their pockets, and they're just taking more and more control.
And taking our rights.
Little by little. And they're just making up laws off the top of their head to just keep us quote unquote safe and taking away everything that we enjoy. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's the end of times as we know it.
Yeah. And yeah, you can't do anything about it. Like your vote's not gonna matter.
I can't
Your
even have a
first-
pistol brace on my shotgun, dude,
No,
that I bought.
no. They banned.
Bullshit.
Didn't they ban the AR-15?
No.
They
Absolutely not. There's no way they could ever ban a gun. They can just ban components, because if they try to ban a gun, that's gonna be the day.
Yeah.
That will be the day. If
Fucking
now
bans.
if we let that moment pass, we will be fucked. We will be fucked. That is the primary right there.
Yeah.
Primary one.
Yeah.
You cannot
How's-
have any other right without that one right. That's it. That's the fundamentals. So
Yeah,
if
but-
the moment that they decide to ban a gun, it's over for us.
Look, I'm reading it. Look, I'm telling you.
People on the left like guns too. Everybody
Look.
likes guns.
Read this. The House passed legislation Friday. This is July 29, 2022, to ban semi-automatic guns.
They can
What?
pass legislation all they want, but there has to be a certain amount of votes, and they'll never get that vote.
Yeah. I was gonna say it hasn't really gone through, but that's pretty crazy.
And they've been trying to do this for years. This is nothing new.
House legislation is signed by Republicans. Almost all Republicans vote against the bill. It will likely stall in the 50-50%. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can suck my ass on that one.
Yeah, because they've already done it. That's the thing. They've already done it.
If they want to make me a criminal, I'll be a criminal.
It's right here. They did ban semi-automatic weapons in 1994. Assault weapon and large capacity magazine ban save lives. 10 years. 2004. From 1994 to 2004, you could not buy an AR-15.
Save lives. They care so much about us. I'm so happy.
They're saving so many lives that they themselves are using them. Saving a lot of lives. Their own lives.
Yeah, reduce your carbon footprint, but we're all riding in private jets.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. It's a joke. All this global warming talk, yet they keep buying all the estates near the water. I'm not buying it. If they don't believe it, then I don't believe it, because they know more than I do about
They're
how
all
fake it is.
moving to Florida, so.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one's more of a cesspool, DC or Hollywood. But I think
God, oh my God, that's a discussion right there. Well, they're one and the same, so I guess they're pretty much all one big cesspool. But you're right, God, Hollywood is disgusting, and I don't even know that much about it. Y'all probably are more versed than I am, because like that.
I don't. I mean, we could talk about it, but it's mostly just like, Epstein, Weinstein shit.
Yeah,
So-
Dan Schneider type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just got like so many of them
But
that
they
have
talk
come
about
out
how
and
they
said
pay off. They pay protesters to protest.
Yeah.
They probably paid those Republicans to raid the Capitol. Raid the Capitol.
Well, they didn't pay them, but they definitely infiltrated. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's for
they
sure.
were- there were definitely people there who were not.
And same, and like I'll be fair. Same thing with the BLM riots. Same thing.
Yeah.
No, like no. I mean, now I think it's pretty obvious that a lot of people were just sucked into it because they were young kids. The whole Republican one was more older people, so they were a little bit less calm. They're a little bit more calm, but like in comparison, Black Lives Matter was way worse because there were a lot of young kids involved. So they were like, "Oh, let's just go crazy," because they're young kids. That's just how they are. But at the same time, they definitely were infiltrated because there were multiple videos of people in BLM riots watching like people who look kind of like suspicious, like black umbrellas with like totally black masks, totally blacked out, and like they're basically planting stuff around like bricks in different areas, and like they kind of saw that stuff. That's all on video. They're like, and they were calling them out. Actually, to give credit, some people were calling them out like, "Yo, oh my god, it looks like a cop, and the guy just like runs away. It's like probably some fed, probably some agent. You know, we call them chaos agents in the conspiracy world. They just cause chaos. They just go to riots and or even like protests where they know two people are near each other and they'll just find a way to make them clash. And, like, you know what I mean?
In allied countries, we have this thing called the rules of engagement.
Yep.
How do they get around these rules of engagement? I'm not going to go into those, but basically, the short of it is, you have to operate with ethics. Okay.
Yeah.
How do they get around that? Contractors, the United Nations.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe these chaos agents were just members of those things. That way, when they got confronted, they could be used as a sheep
Scapegoat,
to take a scapegoat to take the blame, and then they disappear and they go get to live their rich lives after their payout. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that happens all the time.
It happens all the time. I mean,
because if they're not from this country, then they don't have to abide by this country's laws.
Yeah, and I think they think
that's why the UN exists, because now they're like, oh wait, we don't really belong to a country. We're kind of our own. We're like a global. We can make new rules. And it's kind of separate from other countries, so they can kind of just do whatever they want. Like with the UN, they kind of conglomerate and shit, collaborate, whatever you want to call it.
Hey England, can I get one of your UN guys to come down here and plant a bomb? We'll pay them really well.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. It's almost like international waters, like international things, like globalized things. Like they're not really attached to a specific culture or rules.
Yeah, and
so
like
they make an elite
it's
culture.
crazy how deep the brainwashing runs. Because I was talking to Sean, of course, and he was like, I was like, bro, do you really think global government is a good idea? And he was like, I mean, I think it could work. I was like, oh no.
Bro, I'll be honest with you. I started off as one of those people back in high school. Like, I read books by a scientist named Michio Kaku, which is a very smart guy, but he basically, he believed, and he's like, thinking about it, he's like an upper level of physicist, so he's like up in that echelon of like those kind of thinkers, and he was basically saying that up there they believe the only way for us to really move on as a human species is to be in one world government and one world flag, like one world. There has to be one identity for the entire globe. That's what they think. They call it a type 1 civilization. We're type 0, and they say the deadliest of times is switching from type 0 to type 1. It's all planned. It's all like, I read that back in 2012, 2013. That's a book that he wrote even years before that.
It's Orwellian.
That's very interesting because that's
insane.
Because back then I didn't realize what that really meant. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. I believe in science, physics. Okay, cool. Yeah, I bet we all have to be. That's just what we have to do to be an advanced species. That's insane. Now that I really hear it again, like coming out of my mouth, like what the fact that I actually thought that was a good idea for a second because I read it in one of his books. That's fucking insane. No, like that's weird.
Here's the problem.
Why do we need
when
that?
you stop focusing on the rights of the individual?
Yeah,
you're gonna have a serious fucking problem. We're
Absolutely.
talking Nazi level type shit.
Yes.
Absolutely. It is the #1 cause of social aggression.
Yes. Any kind of unity. I actually really don't believe in any kind of bringing people together. I think it should be all about the individual. I really believe that. Like that. Any what is it called? When you bring damn it.
Conglomerate.
Communism. There's a specific word I'm trying to think of, but basically, yeah. When you have a bunch of people in a group, it is. There's a certain way to put it. Fuck, I can't think of the word. But anyway, yeah. There's no such thing.
Collectivism.
As like collectivism. Thank you, sir. Collectivism is poison. Look at Stalin. Look at Nazi. You know, look at even. I mean, look at China right now. Look at North Korea. You got everybody brainwashed to believe the same thing. We're all the same. We're all the one country. We're all this. I'll be honest with you. I still believe it's dangerous for America too. We're all America. We all should be. hating the Middle East and calling them all terrorists, that was all bad. Like, that was never a good thing. Like, collectivism is poison in every regard. It's always bad. Like,
It's cultism almost.
it's basically always going to be like that. Someone's going to take advantage of it. So collectivism should be either.
Culture is poison.
I could go there because that's kind of what I'm trying to say. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea to make things up. Like, just stop making things up. It's just a matter of. But at the same time, that doesn't help the people who want to take advantage of everybody. So they don't want that. They want everything to be
The
labeled.
root of the word culture is cult.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are so tied to their culture, they think it's part of their identity. That's a problem. So people don't let it go. And they just fight for something they don't even really realize is an illusion, in my opinion.
Culture is not important.
It's not. There's no need for culture in any sort of sense of the word. There's none. There's no need. It's just completely unnecessary. When do you need culture in your daily life? When do you think, oh, my culture is... No, you don't need that. That's just...
you really don't.
It doesn't make sense. Hey, I really need I need to make $50 by the end of the week so I can make sure to pay rent. Why does culture help you?
I live
Good thing I'm
black
fucking
neighborhood.
Latino.
Yeah. Oh, good thing I'm from Colombia. That's gonna help me. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. Oh, I need to catch some fish because I'm not gonna eat by the end of the week. Oh, good thing I'm Colombian. That'll help me. No, it doesn't help me. That doesn't help me at all. That doesn't matter where my parents are from. It doesn't matter what country I'm in. None of that stuff actually matters. But it's all about. I mean, the conditioning is so deep. People think holidays exist. People think calendars are real. People think clocks are real. None of this is real. Everything you have ever been in contact with since you were born is human made. Anything human made is of an illusion. That's just what it is. There is no days. There's no such thing as a day. There's only one day. Just because the earth moves around, no, there's only one continuous day. It is always the present moment. There is nothing else. That is how far the conditioning has gone. That people actually think there are days. There's no such thing. It's just an idea to make mathematical equations so that you can plan things, and that doesn't make any sense. It's all made up. But I can go there, but we can stick to politics. But I'm just saying, like.
Keep going.
I just fucking can't stand the fact that everyone thinks all this shit is real. Like, it's insane to me. I wake up every day and people tell me that they have all these weird obligations, like paying off their car or going to college or even loving their parent. You don't have to do anything. Life has zero obligations. And the fact that people actually think that they have to do anything is just beside insanity to me. Like, it's just you're truly lost. People are so lost, and that's why societies continue to crumble cyclically. We're not the first society that's going to crumble. There's going to be a million more after us because they're all based on illusions, and money's an illusion. Capitalism's an illusion. Communism's an illusion. What is capitalism? There's free trade, and then there's corruption. They're not mutually supposed to be together all the time. They can happen separately. We can have free trade. If I need this from you, I can give you this, and we can be like, that's fine. That's capitalism. That's normal. Capitalism is the most natural thing. But when you call it capitalism, it comes with other obligations that people think are defined. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, all of it's fake. It's all fake. We are human beings, but the problem is that everyone is so entrenched in the system, they would rather fight about communism versus socialism instead of understanding that there are just corrupt people in this world taking advantage of a lot of smaller people. That's it. It's just the ants versus the grasshoppers. It's literally that. Yeah. It's more of a class thing, which to some people sounds Karl Marxist, but he had that part right. It is a class war. It's always going to be a class war. It's always.
And I mean, Thomas Paine wrote about that too.
Yes,
yeah. You know what I mean? So like, if you want to say Thomas Paine's a Marxist, that guy's like one of the founders of America. It's like everyone has always known. I mean, the French Revolution, the Yugoslavian Revolution, the Soviet Revolution. It's all based on that idea. These fucking elite, bourgeois, fucking upper class people are fucking us. The American Revolution was based on that too.
It's funny that you say that because they actually going off exactly what I was saying. They designed this country to have no classes. However, we have fucked that up.
Yep.
And made it so.
And I've talked about this with people like back in the day, back in the very beginning, the power of your local government versus the power of the federal government, it wasn't even like a competition. You know what I mean? Your local government was the law. Like, your federal government didn't do shit but sign checks. Like, that, you know what I mean? Way more sense and then agree to go to war.
That makes way more sense to me. Like,
that's it.
That's so efficient. Oh, we have a town of 5,000 people. Why the fuck does somebody who live in DC have anything to do with Athens, Alabama. They're completely separated from each other. It makes no sense. Why are people who live in other states, who are representative of other states, who don't even live in their own states and their own districts, making laws about the entire United States? It makes no sense.
And elections were held, but you voted for the person in your town that was most capable to do the job because you knew them and you respected them. It wasn't because they ran a fancy campaign speech and had banners and flyers and shit like that. You know what I mean? It was because you literally knew that person would do the job that you were electing them to do.
It's still like that today, to a certain extent. I mean, we have senators, and those senators, they get paid shit money. I mean, they're making $34,000 a year.
So they're so easy to corrupt.
States. But the thing is, exactly, they are easy to corrupt. Most of them have a second job.
Yep.
You know, but these are the people that we
But
trust.
look at people like Nancy Pelosi, who's worth $80 million.
And she has an ice cream freezer that's like 12 grand or something.
That's insane.
Yeah.
While we're all down here not able to eat.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. There are some senators who are, just actually taking their Senate, but then you look at some of these senators' net worth and you're like, what the fuck? This guy's been in the Senate for 4 years.
Yeah, look at their salary and then look at their net worth. You're like, wait, what the fuck?
You're like, this guy's been in Senate 2 years and he's $6 million? How did he make that? And you look up his salary and you're like, who pays this?
He has really good knee pads, whoever that is.
Really good knee pads.
Really good knee pads.
Yeah, either that or some really, really cool friends in the stock
raise
market.
it too. But, actually, here, let's switch.
Sorry,
No, take turns.
I'm a bigger guy for now.
Big chair. Yeah, man. Yeah, at this point, I think it makes more sense. Because obviously I don't like government, but at the end of the day, if you want to have some organization for efficiency, that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to why is the government? This is fundamental.
The federal government.
Any government, even local. I will even say even local. But anyway, let's just get into it. Yeah. Any government, they should not be interested in emotional, psychological issues like that. That's when they start talking about stuff like that.
It's a non-issue.
It's a not completely. It is a non. That's what I like to call them. I'm more worried about fundamentals, non-issues, like in my opinion, gender stuff,
sexuality,
racial,
any kind of super racial stuff, especially at the federal level and like any kind of government level. Like, why are we talking about race? Get the hell out of race. Stop it. Unless, yes, I get it. If the people are saying, okay, the government's being racist, we have to do something about that. Fine, but they should not be obsessed and getting everybody talking about these little things that don't actually matter as much. But at the end of the day, fundamentally, what's going to help every race is if we just attack the fundamentals: poverty, workers, cleaner streets, crime. Like, those things actually matter for everyone, and that's the
economics.
Economics is huge. Why are we not talking about that? Oh, because we're too busy talking about mental illness. It's like, yes, that's a problem for people, but not at the federal. The government has nothing. They should have nothing to do with that. Just leave it alone.
Yep.
I feel
Fix
like
the fucking economy.
Yes.
Trade should not be handled by the federal government. I think that it should be handled on a state-by-state basis. If this state needs a certain thing, they can call out, their governor can call out to the government of, the other country and say, hey, we need this thing. Because trade causes a lot of conflict, in a lot of sense, and it takes away, individual rights.
At the end of the day, we're like little leaves, and the government is like a hurricane, and the littlest things that they do have such huge impacts on people. It just kind of blows us around, and we don't really have a lot of footing. We can't really stay still because at the end of the day, they have so much power. Like, one person in government and higher a government can affect millions of people with just some legislation. It's just weird. It doesn't make any sense to me, especially when it's, like I said, federal. That the federal shit just makes no sense to me. I think the federal government should be completely fucking abolished. Like, each state should be running their own thing. That's the whole point of the United States. Like, that's the whole point. States should be
united. Yes,
and then not even necessarily united. Like, if you don't like the way New Jersey runs it, then go live in Connecticut. If you don't like the way Connecticut runs it, go live in Arizona. Like, that's the kind of the point. Like, yeah, you can get, for instance, abortion. Like, if you really want one of those, go to the state that allows it. Like, that's the point. That was the point of the 50 states, that we have people who have it a little bit different in each state, and you can go to where you need to. But it's still United States, where we all protect each other because we all have the freedom to express.
And they're trying to force everyone to be the same.
One world government, one world thought, one world thought.
And you know how they're doing that? Classifying us. Black, white.
Yeah, labels, that's the illusion stuff. The culture, the capitalists, the communists. Put a label on people, then they're obligated to do everything that label is defined as, and then you have no flexibility, you have no expression.
If you tell black people that white people hate them, the black people are going to start hating the white people, not the person who told them that.
And then you tell white people that black people hate them because they think that white people hate black people. And so then the white people try to be nice to the black people, and the black people hate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's in the book that I'm reading. Maps of Meaning talks about it. It's like when you put people in groups and then make it so that the group has to do everything that the group does the same exact way. Like everyone in the group has to participate in the group stuff in the same way that everyone else in the group does. You destroy individual like creativity. And when you stop that, you know, people freak out and they want to leave the group, right? And so then when they leave the group and you've attached all of their self-worth to the group, they have no identity. Their world breaks down once they're no longer part of the group. You know, when they get ostracized from their friends. And that right there is what leads to social aggression. Period. Nothing else. It's just when you feel like your creative process has been constrained forever, and then you're released from that, and you don't know where to go from there, you have like two options. As you wither and die, or you like freak the fuck out and just like go off, you know? And it doesn't necessarily have to be violent, but a lot of times it is, you know? Because people are just lost. They don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
Because
crazy.
everything they knew was tied to this group, and then this group did some stupid, crazy shit, like trying to teach that shit in schools. And they're like no longer associated with that group because they're not about that shit. But now they have no identity.
The Department of Education, is that even constitutional? Why do we have that? Why is that part of the federal government? Why
It was founded by the Rockefeller Institute. Isn't that funny? And he was the one that said, "I want a nation of workers, not thinkers."
That's some Illuminati type shit.
Yeah, and he's the one that founded our school system.
Yeah, it's true, and he's right. I have.
And then think about what you learned at school and how it applies to your day-to-day life.
Well, I learned that gay people, you know.
Exactly. It's just you're not supposed to think. You're supposed to sit in the desk for 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and do your fucking job.
I had a guy come up to me one time and he said, "Hi, I'm gay," and I was like, "What the fuck? I don't want to fucking hear that. You keep that shit to yourself, man. I don't go around to Isaac, hey, I'm straight. I'm straight.
I like women. Yes,
I like women.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
weird.
That's fucking strange.
That's so like.
Yeah,
that's the thing,
we've
like,
talked about this a lot.
Yeah,
It's
we actually
very weird.
we just talk about that, but like it's funny because that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying about the culture thing. Like people take it upon themselves to make it an identity, and that's the problem. Is that once you have this brainwashing that we call it or conditioning confined to an identity, like you identify with it, that's why people fight for it so hard because it's who I am that. Like if I cook you food and you say, "Oh, I don't like that food," it hurts me. Why? Because I identified with that food.
I don't prefer that. I am that.
Yeah.
People say I am depressed. Not I'm feeling depression right now. They say I am depressed. They identify with that. That's why they can't get away from it. So same thing when someone says, "Oh, you know what? The gay thing's a little too much right now. Like y'all can kind of, just keep it to yourself." I mean, it's fine. Like okay, it started off as it's none of your business to now it's everybody's business and let me teach your kids. It's like okay, we're chill for a second. Like damn, relax. Like it's okay.
And that's some hot spicy truth right there, baby.
Fine, but like I get it.
I think we should legalize incest. I think we should.
It's already legal.
I want to go ahead and push that. I want to get out there and
they push it already. I mean, you've all watched Prawn,
Yeah.
It's everything's just step bro, step sis, step.
That's pretty fucking popular.
No, I don't want that step bullshit. Okay?
Well, they can't.
I want the real thing.
They can't just run it like that.
Okay. It's completely correct. It's natural, and I was born this way. Okay.
Nope. That's your truth, Jack.
It's my fucking truth. And by the way, hi, I'm incest.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have pronouns.
Hi, I'm incest.
You may only call me by
that.
my name.
I want you to stop and think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, back, now we think about incest as, what the fuck? That is so disgusting. That's unnatural. It's terrible. Back, not too long ago, there were people who thought,
that was the only way.
sticking your pee-pee in a man's butthole, that was disgusting. That was unheard of. It was unfathomable.
Actually, well, hold on. That's not true. I mean,
For some people, it was true. For some people, it's still to this day, probably true to some people. But, it's become acceptable. Society accepts that. But just think about, in a couple decades, incest might be a reality.
Well, hold on. Are you saying that we shouldn't accept that, or are you saying that it's a bad thing that we've accepted?
If you want my honest opinion, I don't really care.
Back.
This is my opinion. I think it's wrong.
But that's okay. I mean, you can think that. That's kind of the
And you're religious, Jack.
And I think it's typically the more religious people that.
I wouldn't even call me religious. I mean,
yeah.
I don't pray every day. I've never read the New Testament.
Well, you're Jewish, so I mean.
I think it's weird and it's odd and when I think about it, it's not natural. I'm a little perplexed by that idea, I think.
Well, the thing is, the way I look at it is, I'm back to where it was back when I was growing up. Like, it's nobody's business. That's how it started and shit. And I think that's where we should keep it. Like, because, like I said, even the heterosexual part, like, hey, I like.
Yeah,
women.
like,
That
I'm not
doesn't
gonna go
matter.
tell you that.
It just doesn't matter unless it comes up. And if you're talking about it, that's fine. But like, it shouldn't be like your only. Like, do you have any personality? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, I'm accepting of anybody's shit. Like, even if you're trans, like, that's fine. Do what you want to do, but don't force everyone else to move exactly like you want them to, because that's very selfish and also kind of impossible. You can't just make everybody else agree with it.
And especially when it comes to like controlling people's speech.
Yeah,
exactly. That's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't think politicians give a crap about gay or transgender people. They just want to.
They saw the opportunity.
Exactly.
And they took
it. I don't think they give a fuck. They're just using it.
And they know, because they know freedom of speech. That's why it's the first one. It's the most important one.
Yeah.
You have to be able to say this kind of shit, what we're talking about right now. If we couldn't say this shit, it would be a problem.
I still disagree. I think that the most important one is number 2. But you can't have number 2 without number 1, and you can't have number 1 without number 2. So they kind of go hand in hand.
And that's why they want to take them both at the same time.
And you can't have the rest without those 2.
Yeah. Yeah, none of them, you can't enforce any of the rest of them without the first 2. You have to be able to say what you want to say and back that motherfucker up.
One of them is the king. One of them is the castle.
Yeah. And that is what our country is founded on.
But I do agree with the establishment with one thing. Learn how to code. Why? Because I think since the future is propaganda and online, if you know how to get let's put it this way. Back in the old days, the elite were the ones who knew how to read and write. You know how to read because you know how to use your phone and computer, but you don't know how to write. So learn how to code.
That's true.
Then you know how to write and read. I think that's the new reading and writing. I really believe that. And I think that's actually a powerful thing to know. But here's the thing. Don't worry about it being difficult or boring, because it's going to get improved as time goes on, and soon everyone's going to have to know it. I actually believe that. I think everyone's going to have to know how to code eventually, because it's going to be so accessible. They're going to start teaching it at grade 5. And here's a computer, here's an iPad, just start putting your own little code in there. It's going to be for everybody. So the sooner you learn, I think it's going to be a kind of a head start, in my opinion. I think it's a head start. But the reason why I think that is also because if you know how to use a computer, you know how to keep yourself safe. You know how to use your computer to the point where, like, you can write your own programs, you can write your own scripts, you can write your own websites. You don't have to. If you get banned somewhere, you can make your own. Like, there's no banning somebody who knows how to use the internet. Look at Luke Smith, someone that I look up to on YouTube. He's considered like a power user, not a huge coder, but he knows how to have his own servers. He has his own email server. He has his own internet servers. He has his own, like, well, I don't think you have to have like your own ISP. That's different. But basically, he just has like his own everything, his own video platform, his, like, all of it's his own. He just made it, and I'm like, damn, he's unbannable. Like, he calls himself an internet LAN Chad,
and we're all peasants because we're renting like YouTube and Facebook, and we're just renting spaces on the internet now. So they're not only getting you to rent in real life, they're getting you to rent online. So if you own your own land online, you can have anything you can do anything you want from your own space. It's kind of like having a house. That's kind of how I look at it. I actually believe the establishment, if it was coming from them, learning how to code is probably pretty powerful. But I think everyone's going to know how to eventually. Everyone's going to have to. It's a new reading and writing. Computers are taking over. They're going to be everywhere.
You know what else people need?
They are everywhere. What do you mean?
Right?
People need to learn how to shut the fuck up.
Starting with me.
I know. I'm being serious when I say that. They need to learn how to shut the fuck up and keep it in here, and use it when the time comes.
Or instead of shutting the fuck up, why don't we talk to each other and talk to the people we disagree with? Like, for instance, last night was a big moment, in my opinion, even for something as a small niche of what we call the Red Pill community on YouTube. Bro, they got Destiny and Sneeko on Fresh and Fit podcast, and I was like, damn, this is what we need. Like, we need people who disagree to get together because now we have the power. Like, YouTubers have more volume as far as watchers than like major TV networks. We are the news. We are the information now. It's time to get together and talk, but we can't just create echo chambers where we're like, no, we'll never have liberals on our show, or we'll never have Republicans on our show, or we'll never have, like, no, we need to talk to these people because they need to see how human we are, and we need to see how human they are. And then once we realize, we all want the same thing, but we just live life differently, that's all that really fucking matters. I believe that's the most important thing if you want a society.
Let's all go buy tickets to The View right now.
Bro, let's go. I will fuck them up.
We gotta get Tim Dillon.
They don't want to fucking talk to me. They don't want to talk
That's
to
the
me.
problem. The
Let's just
mindset
start
that you
interviewing
have-
politicians.
That's the mindset that you have right now is great. The only problem is that we have a different factor that doesn't want to hear a single fucking word of what you've got to say. They want to shut you up. They want to take away your First Amendment right. It's kind of hard to go sit down with these people that you disagree with.
Well, you don't always have to sit down with those people specifically, but if you sit down with people around them, maybe they have one cousin who's a little bit more open-minded than they are, but then they go visit their cousin after they've been kind of
Red pill.
Yeah, it's a little bit more, whatever. And then they kind of talk to their cousin. Their cousin's like, nah, I don't know about all that. Like, it's fine. He's my friend. Like, it's cool. We disagree, but we're cool. Then they're like, well, fuck, all right. Well, it's one thing at a time. I really believe this is some of the most important things we can do is just talk. Because, like you said, freedom of speech is the first one for a reason. It's so important. And now, I think the reason why the government's getting so bombastic is because they realize they're losing control, which is actually happening. We're actually winning. I'm not pessimistic. I think we're winning. I think that people are taking it back. People are starting to work for themselves already. People are owning their own businesses. We're leaving the corporations. It's already happening.
I am so exhausted.
He's so exhausted. He said, I'm tired of work.
It's like having a boner under your fucking shirt tucked in your waistband all the fucking time. Like, at first it's kind of nice, but then it kind of gets on your fucking nerves a little bit, That's what politics
And then you have to pee, and then you can't pee, but then the pee is making it stay up, and then you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
Instead of having to just pull it out through your fucking zipper hole, you have to unbutton your entire fucking undergarments.
All right. Let's watch Joe Biden do something funny.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get lighthearted now.
All right.
Oh god.
So,
No, but honestly, I love life. I gotta be honest with y'all. I fucking love this shit.
there is no tomatoes. There is.
Life is fucking sick. Like, I like this shit. It's like a big TV show.
Do you want to hear my impression of
Really
Joe
is.
Biden?
It's like a movie, bro. We're living a movie.
This is my impression of Joe Biden.
He can't hear it. It's noise reduction. He's just licking ice cream.
Oh, I see.
I'm just sitting there smacking like a dead animal.
Oh.
I'm gonna reduce the fuck out of liberal noise.
Well, honestly, if you put my views on paper, I'd probably still be considered liberal.
Fuck you then.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
That's okay. That's why we're here, baby. That's why we're here. I'm like, legalize every drug. Anarchy. That's my favorite, bro.
I used to be like that. But then I realized, well, yeah, I guess we should do that.
Just legalize every drug, legalize every weapon, and well, yeah, fuck it. I mean,
okay.
people have them anyway. It's like, what's the gonna? You can go buy AK-47s on the black market, like in your neighborhood. Just
You can go buy one in a gun shop.
you can make one.
Yeah.
You can. People are 3D printing guns, by the way. It's over. They can't.
There are no banned guns in the U.S. Bro.
It's true.
You can buy anything.
There are banned guns, but you can purchase a tax stamp to own one.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For example,
I've never had a gun, by the way, everybody. I don't have a gun. I need one.
suppressors are legal unless you have a tax stamp. Unless you pay Big Brother for it.
Oh, so you have to pay extra money to get that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
The rich,
course.
So the rich have the best security. That's what Magic was saying earlier.
And they can they can hold your application for 6 months and review it.
Let's see what he voted last time.
Yeah,
Yeah, check it. I mean,
What
legitimately.
happens though? We're already ever since the Coco 19, they're starting to integrate this social credit system. That's what they're starting to do, canceling people, because China's already way ahead of us, and they're thinking, okay, well, if we're going to compete with China, we have to be them, because that's how competition works. We have to turn into China so we can compete with them, and that's what we're doing. We're social credit systems, canceling people, making sure that we kind of, everybody's on the same page, like everybody has to think the same. We can't just have 50 states divided. No, everyone's in one government, just that's what China does. They're doing the same thing.
Are you guys wearing the same fucking ring?
It's my wedding.
I'm not married.
Oh, you're married, Adam.
He's married.
Yeah,
That's
I have a
crazy.
child.
He has a
Oh,
child.
no way.
He has a house. He's,
Yeah, I own a home.
he's a grown up.
I'm a grown man.
So you have big nuts now.
Yeah, I do.
And honestly, that's probably why he's so passionate about politics. He has a family now. If I had a family, I'd be like, damn. What
Yeah,
the
bro.
fuck's
That's
going on?
what
My
that's
son's
what
not going to
Tate
school.
That's what Tate said. He was like, bro, if I was a single man and I had $20 million and I was a bachelor, I wouldn't give a fuck. about
That's
Joe
why
Biden.
I'm like this. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but if I had children and I was regular Joe Schmo working 40 hours a week, I'd be like, holy shit, the world is ending, And that's how I feel. I'm like, what the fuck? Everything is going to shit. We're all gonna die. We are. We're all gonna die.
We are all going to die. At least we know our doom. That's
Tummy dummy fuck me.
At least we
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
At least we know
Try
our
to get it
doom.
while it's good.
It's, it's nice to know that, though. At least I know I'm going to die. One thing I know.
It's the only thing you know.
It's the only thing I know.
I just wish we could go back to
And that you were born.
2004
You
when
know
we
that
were
you were
all
born.
emo.
I know that
you know
I'm
that
born,
you-
and I know that I'm going to die. We can't.
And you know that you breathe.
Yeah. And
Like
so-
you know how your body works, kind of. Jack knows how your body works.
Yeah, Jack actually knows quite a bit about the body. He
Somewhat.
teaches me some new disease like every week. I'm like, okay, I didn't know about that. Like,
Do you know what penile necrosis is?
okay, let's not.
What the fuck?
Necrosis? Oh, I don't want to know.
No, too much.
I don't-
You
Too
heard
much for the
right.
stream.
No, I don't
It's
want to.
real. It's a real thing.
All right, well-
Your penis tissue can die.
Ew.
Fournier's gangrene.
It probably looks like my face.
Do you know what
No.
Fournier's gangrene is? It's a condition that you get when you have diabetes and your blood sugars are ill managed. Your tissue can start dying. It happens on the feet, happens on the hands, and on the pee-pee. Okay? And it only happens in men. Fournier's gangrene. Very sexy disease.
Well,
Fuck.
I hope I don't get it. What do you
Regulate
think
your
I do?
blood sugars.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't eaten in 2 days. Just kidding.
Drink water, baby. Drink water.
I drink a lot of fucking water. I'll tell you that. I pee like every 5 minutes.
Always got one of these on deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep the strap.
Let's go, y'all.
Yeah.
Hydrated boy, the water boys. I showed.
Yeah.
I showed
Hey,
I showed
so
Ja-
speaking of name, I thought about it. I didn't really think about it. Eminem's record label is called Aftermath.
What?
Oh, we're not Eminem.
That's true, but I'm just saying.
You want something even more unique. Oh.
I'm just saying for future copyright issues. Like,
The Aftermath XXX.
oh yeah, XXX Tintasi Aftermath.
Wait, have you guys named this podcast
It's
yet?
called The Aftermath.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you should just call it GeForce RTX podcast.
we should call it Big Gang Theory.
Big nut.
Yo, I actually kind of like that though. I call that Big Gang, dude. I kind of like that though. That's kind of lit. Oh shit.
Or we can call it Big nuts theory.
No. It's big gang theory. It's just fire.
Um,
I'm gonna put it in Midjourney image creator and we'll see what comes
actually,
out.
I was gonna tell you that I showed him that he was obsessed for like 30 fucking minutes. at
Bro,
least.
I was stroking my dick like beef, dude.
He knows a lot about beef.
I know a lot about beef.
He
I
beats
cut
that
beef
meat
all
all
day.
fucking day, bro. Beats the fucking meat. That's what we should call it. We should call it the Colombian Jewish butcher.
No, we're not Colombian or Jewish.
I know. You fuck. We're not cultural in this spot.
I'd like to read a sermon. I'm gonna read a quick sermon while he looks that up. Allow me one moment, please.
You're allowed one fucking moment.
Stop.
Juice time, baby.
It's juice time, baby. Okay. It won't take very long, but I'll read it as quick as I can. All right. Whew.
Neckbeard
But-
light.
But it's what all the mystics in the past have been telling us. I'm not saying that. Oh, sorry. Let me step back a little bit more. Okay. Some of you wonder if there's a gray area before something becomes an attachment, before identification sets in. Say a friend dies. It seems right and very human to feel some sadness about that. But what reaction? Self-pity? What would you be grieving about? Think about that. What I'm saying is going to sound terrible to you, but I told you, I'm coming from another world. Your reaction is personal loss, right? Personal loss, right? Feeling sorry for me or other people your friend might have brought joy to. But that means you're feeling sorry for other people who are feeling sorry for themselves. If they're not feeling sorry for themselves, what would they be feeling sorry for? We never feel grief when we lose something that we have allowed to be free, that we have never attempted to possess. Grief is a sign that I made happiness depend on this thing or person, at least to some extent. We're so accustomed to hear the opposite of this that what I say sounds inhuman, doesn't it? But it's what all the mystics in the past have been telling us. I'm not saying that me, the conditioned self, will not sometimes fall into its usual patterns. That's the way we've been conditioned. But it raises the question whether it is conceivable to live a life in which we would be so totally alone that you would depend on no one. We all depend on one another for all kinds of things, don't we? We depend on the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Interdependence, that's fine. We set up society this way, and we allot different functions to different people for the welfare of everyone, so that we will function better and live more efficiently, or effectively, sorry. At least we hope so. But to depend on another psychologically, to depend on another emotionally, what does that imply? It means to depend on another human being for my happiness. So think about that. Because if you do, the next thing you will be doing, whether you're aware of it or not, is demanding that other people contribute to your happiness. Then there will be a next step. Fear. Fear of loss, fear of alienation, rejection, and mutual control. Perfect love casts out fear. Where there is love, there are no demands, no expectations, no dependency. I do not demand that you make me happy. My happiness does not lie in you. If you were to leave me, I will not feel sorry for myself. I enjoy your company immensely, but I do not cling. I enjoy it on a non-clinging basis. What I really enjoy is not you. It's something that's greater than both you and me. It is something that I discovered, a kind of symphony, a kind of orchestra that plays one melody in your presence, but when you depart, the orchestra doesn't stop. When I meet someone else, it plays another melody, which is also very delightful. And when I'm alone, it continues to play. That's a great repertoire. There's a great repertoire, and it never ceases to play. That's the awakening, and that's what it's all about. That's also why we're hypnotized, brainwashed, asleep. It seems terrifying to ask, but can you be said to love me if you cling to me and will not let me go? If you will not let me be? Can you be said to love me if you psychologically or emotionally if you need me, for your happiness? This flies in the face of the universe and all its teaching and scriptures of all religions. So I thought that was very interesting. And at the end, he basically says, think of your loneliness that is yours. Would human company ever take it away? It will only serve as a distraction. there's an emptiness inside, isn't there? And when the emptiness surfaces, what do? You run away, turn on the television, turn on the radio, read a book, search for human company, seek entertainment, seek distraction. Everybody does that. And it's a big business nowadays, an organized industry to distract us and entertain us. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting. By the way, for the listeners, Anthony DeMello, Awareness. It's a great book, and everything he says is just like, it makes me put the book down every now and then. I'm like, Jesus.
Can I read that when you're done? I'll trade you.
Okay. That's fine.
All right.
It's a fantastic book. I really think it's very well written.